Alright guys, this one's gonna be a little different. I already did all the work. It's gonna be more of a recap episode just because of how long it took me to get all the pieces right. So, rear suspension. Let's see how we did it. So, what we have here is some Ridetech airbag suspension. These are the AirShocks, and they are our 8000 series 5.2 inch stroke. And you got maximum compression, ride height, and then the extended. So we'll be able to take a vehicle and raise it up to go over speed bumps, and then drop it down when we're wanting to look slumming. Alright, so this says yada yada yada, don't use in independent front suspension, the load isn't designed for it, but the load rating for this is 1,000 pounds per each of these, which is going to be well within the weight of what we're going to have the vehicle at. So no problem using these. So what we got to do is we got to make up something that kind of gives us about this size for the vehicle itself. And we can take and start fitting it up. I went ahead and removed the upper and lower A-arms, and then I started fitting up where I thought the suspension was going to end up being. And this lower portion, I went ahead, measured everything up, made some brackets for it. Ultimately, this was a bad position for it. Once I started getting into this, I realized that now would probably be a good opportunity to go ahead and correct the mistake I made earlier and shift the motor back basically 2.5 inches to get it lined up with the axle shafts to the axle hubs. So I went ahead and cut out the braces, welded in new supports, and then we went ahead and cut everything else out. these are those little brackets that I was talking about for the lower mount. And at first I thought these were gonna be trashed, finding out that we were not gonna use this, but I ended up finding a way to utilize these when I moved the mounting location to a different point. Well, the funny thing about doing off nominal configurations is they're off nominal means they're not the way it was designed for. So after looking at it some more and putting some mock drive shaft, you know, up in here, I was looking at this using that PVC for a mock-up. This is not gonna work, which is sad because I spent money getting these brackets and time making the brackets. So what do? Well, we adapt and overcome. So we're gonna pull this back out, pull the lower AR mount, and this mount down here where the shock shock would mount to, we're gonna see how wide that is. And if we have 1/2 inch on either side, we're gonna put a milled out channel or cut out channel in the middle, and then weld in some plates and use that for a mounting situation. When I say the shock mount, this is what I'm talking about right here. Just gotta measure this guy, and then if that looks like it's gonna work out for us, it's gonna come up and mount over here. So that'll be good. We'll take and pull all this off, and then might as well get it all cleaned up and powder coated and everything. New bushings. Yeah. All right, let's take this all back apart. I went ahead and removed the bushing from the lower control arm. With doing that, I was able to measure everything out where it would fit. Found that I needed to cut out the side rather quickly, so I went and without pressing it out, I just cut off the end, drilled out some of the rubber, and then knocked it out the back side. After doing so, went ahead and trimmed out some of the aluminum. Thought I could reuse some of the original structure where it was arched over the top. Not the case. Alright, so we did the notch out. Once I did a test fit, it's just not gonna work because the bolt hole would have to be way at the top. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this flush, both sides. And then I have this 1.5" round. And we're gonna mill this flat on one end. It's gonna be flat. We're gonna put a hole in the top, and then we're gonna bolt down what we previously made with these guys. That was supposed to go over here. We're gonna bolt it down over here. So let's go ahead and first cut this to length and then mill it down. After getting the aluminum welded in there, I went ahead and bored it out to size and then tapped it to the diameter of the mounting bolts. After getting the lower control mount in place, I went ahead and fitted up the upper where it needed to lie with the new brackets. Got those ordered, brought them in, cleaned off the surface, and then welded them in place. And then we move on to a fit test.